Hello there everyone, and welcome to this week's challenge. Today we'll find out if we can beat Pokemon Platinum with only Rotom. Our stats are rather offensive. Unfortunately, we cannot form change, or we would actually become rather tanky and durable. Wish I could for later in the run, but can't do it without an event item in Platinum. Rotom's level up moves are fine, but we need Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball from VMs. I'm worried about the Ghost Gym and Cynthia's Spiritomb. Even Giratina might hurt us bad, because we haven't got the best defenses. Plus Cyrus will probably be very hard this time too, because he has lots of dark types. So with that said, let's get into the challenge. I'm not allowed to use items in battle. Hailed items are okay. No Pokemon besides Rotom except for HMs, which cannot be used in battle. Leave a comment about if you think we can pull it off, and let's get into it. So to start off, we name ourselves Rena, and our rival Elron. We then go and get our starter. I replaced Piplup with Rotom, so our rival had Turtwig, which should definitely be the most difficult to face for the run due to Torterra being immune to our electric type moves. Our first battle with our rival was actually a complete cakewalk, since he can't hit us due to us being a ghost type. Thankfully, early game will be nice and easy. We don't really hit him too hard, but he can't hit us at all, so we'll be laughing for a while. Here are his stats. I nicknamed Rotom Star Wars after a common follower in my Twitch stream. Come join me sometime. I stream Monday through Saturday twice a day. We wound up with a gentle nature, so minus defense, increased special defense. I'm actually rather happy with this since Spiritomb has special attacks, and I'm worried about that at the end. So, let's get a move on. Our second rival fight is honestly a non-issue. Being ghost type so early on is crazy strong, plus he didn't really hit us at all. We have Thundershock for Starly, so it just drops easily. Turtwig is tanky, but not tanky enough to handle us. Hopefully Rorik is easy too, but I highly doubt it. Rorik is a brutal slog. As you would guess, being robbed of our main attacking type is a real problem. We learned Double Team at level 15 luckily, so with Confusion and Evasion we could get past Geodude, and Cranidos isn't immune to Thundershock, so we were able to hit him pretty hard with Thundershock. But when Onix came out, we're completely out of return, and run out of Confusion not long after. Luckily, he missed us a bunch with his attacks, and we just spammed out our PP until we used Struggle to finish off the Onix and got our first badge. This bodes unwell for the rest of the hikers in the game. For Commander Mars in the Valley Windworks, I actually had to grind to level 21 for a Shockwave, and to make sure we could take 2 feint attacks from her Purugly. Her Zubat is literally a joke, as was expected. And Purugly hits hard, but only took a couple of tries to win this fight, due to a couple of damage rolls being really bad with Feint Attack. And here it is, one of the other super brutal gyms in this. I wasn't expecting it to be this brutal. Gardenia was brutally hard to beat, like I was just pointing out. Probably worse than the first gym in all honesty. Her Turtwig is easy to deal with, but it's a range to 2-shot it. More importantly, her Cherrim and Roserade have Magical Leaf which never misses, so I can't even exploit Double Team for this fight. I had to rely on Confusion to be able to not grind any more than I did. Hopefully the next gym goes better, but we just had to spam out Confusion on most of her team. Hope she hit herself enough in Confusion so I didn't have to grind. And even when we got some really good luck, like in this run, she still almost wound up taking us out. We just hung on with 2 HP after a bunch of Magical Leaves, and barely won this fight. I'm not looking forward to the rest of this run. Commander Jupiter has Night Slash on her Skuntank, and it hits really hard. Her Zubat falls to Shockwave without a problem, but Skuntank can 2-shot us if they get good damage rolls. Luckily on try number 2 it used Screech and we barely survived Night Slash. Oh boy, this is looking really bad for late game. Luckily the Ghost Gym was easy. Sure, they could take us out in one hit, but we can do the same to all their team except Miss Magius, who only used Confuse Ray. Luckily we didn't hit ourselves in Confusion, so it was an easy sweep with Ominous Wind. 5th badge is now ours. Even if they do Shadow Sneak and confuse us, we're still gonna just bust our way through. Our rival was such a joke I forgot to even write him into the script at first. Shockwave makes short work of Staravia and Weavile. Throttle was easy to take out with Ominous Wind. It just took 2 of them and he only used Withdrawal and didn't even attack us, so... Last was Ponyta, and Ponyta is such a fragile Pokemon, it couldn't even withstand 1 Shockwave. I always feel bad for Barry in some of the runs that end up like this one. Maylene was no problem this time. We're immune to her fighting type moves and hit them really hard. I wound up leveling up a bunch for the future, and it made this an easy win. Just spammed out Shockwave and Ominous Wind to win. I even forgot Steel still resists Ghosts in this generation, and I still just punched through Lucario without a problem. 3rd badge is now ours, time to go on for the 4th. Our rival blocked us off outside of Wake's gym again, so we had to take care of him, rather easily too. Luckily he's easy this time around, unlike previous runs. Shockwave and Ominous Wind takes out his whole team without any issues. So with him dealt with, it's time for us to go and get our 4th gym badge. Time for Wake. I doubt he'll be a problem. After all, Gyarados doesn't stand a chance against Shockwave. Neither does Floatzel. But he hits us hard with Crunch with Floatzel, so we did have to be a bit nervous. A crit would have taken us out no problem. Last up is Quagsire. He survives Ominous Wind, but deals like no damage to us, so we hit him with a 2nd one to take him out. Badge 4 in the bag. We stopped the bomb threat and then took on Cyrus. I was worried I would have to grind like a madman just to be able to take him on, but we got lucky on the first try. His Sneasel missed us, so we could take him out without any damage. Murkrow fainted to Shockwave. Golbat fainted to Shockwave. Maybe Cyrus won't be as bad as I thought he would be. Up next was our 5th rival fight. It's actually a bit dangerous because he has Torterra, and Torterra is immune to Shockwave, and we can't set up double teams on Staraptor because it has Aerial Ace. So we blew up Staraptor, then set up on Torterra. We got lucky and it hit itself with Confusion multiple times after we used Confuse Ray. We set up tons of double teams, didn't get hit by Leech Seed, did get hit by Crunch, but we took it out without taking way too much damage. Since we had so much HP left, we were able to take out Floatzel in a single Shockwave, and then Heracross came in, hit us with Night Slash, didn't KO us, so we were able to 2-shot him. Last out was Rapidash, and Rapidash was a complete joke, as you would expect Rapidash to be. With our 5th rival fight down, we go in for our 6th badge. I didn't need double team this time for this badge, luckily. Discharge took out Magneton in 2 hits. Bastiodon is actually a lot harder, because he has Metal Burst, and we don't have much HP, so we had to use Confuse Ray to confuse him. Got a lucky para on Bastiodon, thanks to Discharge. So, that problem wasn't a problem this time. Steelix, on the other hand, is much harder. We only have Ominous Wind to deal damage, and it only has 5 PP. So we used Confuse Ray, then hit it with Ominous Wind until it fainted. That's 6 badges down, 2 to go. The next 2 commanders are no problem at all. We just attacked until they fainted. It's still amazing to me that the commanders are either brutal or super easy. Almost as brutal as everything that tends to happen on our streams, which you can catch over on Twitch. Link down below. With them down, we go for a 7th badge. Candace took 3 tries, but it wasn't too much of a problem. Turns out her Sneasel is a range to 1-shot, so we needed a run where it fell in 1 hit. After that, Frostlass is an easy 1-shot with our newly added Shadow Ball. Abomasnow can tank our Shadow Ball and hits us hard with Wood Hammer. They heal up, we take them down in 2 more Shadow Balls. Hail's chipping us down though. Last is Piloswine, who hits us with Stone Edge. We don't KO with Shadow Ball, survive the hail, then finish off with another Shadow Ball. Worried about Cyrus again. Speaking of Cyrus, it's Cyrus time. He rants and raves at us yet again, but he needs to just give up. He can't beat us, and that's obvious at this point. so I say, but he has 2 dark types on his team. First one is his Sneasel, and it came out and I was worried about hitting us with Knockoff and Night Slash, but it turns out I had nothing to fear because he just used Ice Punch, healed up, and then dropped 2 more discharges. After that, Honchkrow came out, we outsped it and took it out with Discharge. Last up was Crobat, who outsped us even with our level advantage. Luckily, he just used Confuse Ray and we took him out with Discharge as well. Time for mountain climbing. But before I go hiking, I have to go save some emotional Pokemon from the doctors. Commander Saturn was no problem again. Seems the commanders are either no problem or brutally hard, and this time they're no problem. I'm thankful for that, that's for sure. No complaints about easy problems in my runs for a change. Between our newly acquired Shadow Ball and Discharge, we just wiped out his whole team. So after we climb up the mountain, we have that double commander fight, and it is brutal most of the time. But much like with Shelter, I'm not worried this time. Why? Because I have Discharge and can clear the whole field. Our poor rival will be seeing this firsthand. So first up, they set up their screens as usual, and we still take them out with 2 discharges, as well as our rival. Then we take out a Golbat and knock half the health off of Skuntank. Skuntank hits us hard, then Perugly comes out. We just keep firing off discharges, taking out Skuntank. Then, next we take out the last Golbat and the Perugly. So thankfully it's easy this time, because Discharge is a brutally powerful control move for this match. So after going through the Distortion World, we took on Cyrus, the fight I've been worried about. Houndoom doesn't fall to Discharge in 1 hit, so we had to confuse it, hope it hit itself in confusion, then knock it out with Discharge. Next up was Weavile. He hits us with Night Slash. Didn't crit us this time. We took him out in 2 discharges. Honchkrow is outsped by us and drops in a single hit without a problem. Crobat still outspeeds us and has Air Slash to flinch us, but he didn't flinch us this time, so we took it out. Only Gyarados left, let's be honest, no chance there. Victory without grinding, yay! Giratina is actually something I'm worried about this time. It's a really strong Pokemon, has Ghost-type moves, Stab bonus, so same type attack bonus on them, so it deals more damage with Ghost and Dragon-type moves because it is Ghost and Dragon-type. And if it uses Ominous Wind and gets a crit, I think it can actually one-shot me. So, let's get into it and see if this Realms Lord can take me down for once. Of course, I'm going to outspeed, because I have a massive level advantage and lots of speed stat. So, I start off with Shadow Ball, and I have to say, wow, I think, like, I get that I'm crazy over leveled, but I thought it would still be at, like, just out of the red, and it didn't use Ominous Wind. Okay then, as usual, Giratina was easy. Damn, I was hoping it would be scary this time, but it just wound up being a complete cakewalk again. I'm kinda sad about that. Up last is the 8th gym. This one was always a pain in these single Pokemon runs. Not crazy bad though this time, so let's get into it. We wound up at a nice level for this gym, in more ways than one. We crit his Jolteon luckily this time, so no paralysis for him. The rest of his team is in a range for a one-hit KO, which is a royal pain because they all hit us rather hard if we don't one-shot them. Luckily this run we got high rolls for our Shadow Balls and managed to one-hit them all. Time for Victory Road. Now then, the only thing left for us is our last rival battle. We're so over-leveled at this point for him that it's just sad. The only Pokemon that can survive are Torterra and Snorlax. Both hit us hard with Crunch, but even though I misclicked on Snorlax and gave it a free turn, it only got me down to 2 HP and we cleaned up the rest of his team. Time to head into the Elite Four and deal with Cynthia. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything turns out fine and there are no surprises in the Elite Four and Champion this time like we've had on several runs now. But before we get into the Elite Four, here are our stats. We wound up with really good special attack and really good speed and good special defense, but we're lacking in HP and defense. I replaced Discharge with Thunderbolt by backtracking to Valley Windworks. Hopefully it's enough to power through Cynthia. I also have a Magnet and Spell Tag, so I'll be using those as I need them. Last chance to guess if we can win. Let's get into the Elite Four. First up is Aaron. He's not really hard this time, luckily. Thunderbolt mows most of his team down because they're part flying, and I use Shadow Ball to take out Heracross so I can save some PP. It was just a one-shot sweep though. I doubt Bertha will be the same, considering her team is so tanky, but Aaron was in the slightest bit of a problem this time, luckily. Just as I suspected, Bertha has enough bulk to survive my Shadow Balls. Wishcash doesn't have enough bulk to survive, luckily, and goes down in one hit, as does Hippowdon. That surprised me a bit, as I know how tanky that thing is from my Sword and Shield run. Rhyperior survives and hits us really hard with Avalanche, and Sandstorm is starting to hurt a lot. Golem also survives and hits us with a Fire Punch, while Sandstorm keeps chipping away at us. She heals up, and then falls to our next Shadow Ball. All that's left is Gliscor. If it survives, we faint, and if it doesn't, we manage to win. Luckily, we one-shot it, and it's a win. So on to Flint. I switched our spell tag we used for Bertha for the Magnet. Thanks to that, we can sweep his whole team. Only Magmortar can survive a Thunderbolt powered by our Magnet. He then even, I don't know what Flint thinks sometimes. Sometimes his AI is brutally hard to beat, and other times he just does the dumbest of things. Like, he could have easily hit us with Fire Blast or something here, but instead he goes for Solar Beam, and does nothing, so we just take him out. I don't get Flint. You would think I would use the spell tag to take on the Psychic-type Elite Four Lucian, but I actually kept the Magnet, because I need to one-shot Bronzong, who resists Shadow Ball, and Thunderbolt deals a bit more damage. But even then, like, his whole team is a sweep. Shadow Ball knocks out everything that isn't Bronzong in one hit, and Bronzong drops in one hit thanks to the Magnet-powered Thunderbolt. Hopefully Cynthia will give up easily this time too. Alright, Cynthia time. Our defense isn't the best, so Garchomp could hit us really hard and Spiritomb is super effective against us. Besides these, we should be good. I have Spell Tag, so Shadow Ball deals more damage to Garchomp, but because we don't have the Magnet, Spiritomb survives, gets to get healed up, and then we just take it out with our next hit. Next up was Lucario, and it drops to one Thunderbolt, so no problem there. Garchomp is a big threat, even though we're immune to Earthquake. We Shadow Balled him, he missed us, we got Special Defense drop, and took him out with another Shadow Ball. Up next is Milotic, who drops in a single hit from Thunderbolt, and same thing goes with Togekiss. Last up is Roserade. If she gets lucky, she could take us out, but she didn't attack us and just used Toxic instead. So she heals up and we just keep blasting through her until she drops. She didn't stall out with more healing. I'll be honest, with how this run started off, I thought for sure it would be a problem late game with Cynthia. But we got rolling hard late game and had no problems after Cyrus. I think if we were a few levels lower, we would have suffered in the Elite Four and Champion and had to grind, but we wound up having no problems in this run. This was a rather fast one, and I'm okay with those now and then. Don't know what next week's challenge will be. Maybe someone will suggest another one. This week's challenge was actually a suggestion from a friend. He gave me a few and some looked fun. Might do one of those if nobody else gives me a different one. I also have one meme run I want to do, but I gotta do some research before I can plug out any of that team. Nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this one. Wasn't super hard after early game, but still enjoyable. If you like the series, drop a like and comment down below. Subscribe to keep the content coming too. It really helps a lot with my motivation to keep going. You can also find me live on Twitch Monday through Saturday twice a day. Link is down below, as well as a Twitter plug down below to have updates on stream and video delays so you're kept in the loop. Until next time everyone, keep having fun, keep playing the games the way you want to play them, and stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one.